Before we enter the material world, before our first breath, before even the formation of thought, something fundamental already surrounds us. It is not visible to the physical eye, nor can it be measured by instruments created by human hands. Yet it exists with absolute certainty. This invisible structure is what spiritual traditions have called the soul's protection field, a vibrational shield that determines not only what reaches our consciousness, but also how we interpret reality itself. This field is not a metaphor. It is an energetic reality that operates continuously, filtering millions of impressions, emotions, thoughts, and spiritual influences that attempt to penetrate our inner being every single day. Without this protection, the soul would be defenseless against the chaotic waves of collective emotion, destructive thought patterns, and spiritual disturbances that permeate the spaces we inhabit. Edgar, in his profound spiritual readings, spoke repeatedly about this subtle layer of consciousness. He described it as a living membrane composed of light frequencies that respond directly to our choices, emotions, and habits. Unlike physical barriers, this field strengthens or weakens based on the quality of energy we cultivate within ourselves. It is not fixed at birth. It evolves, contracts, expands, and sometimes tears, depending entirely on how we live. The purpose of this protection is sacred. It exists to preserve the soul's original frequency, the pure tone it carried before incarnation. Every soul enters this dimension with a specific vibrational signature, a spiritual fingerprint that connects it to higher realms of consciousness. The protection field ensures that this signature remains undistorted by lower vibrations, fear-based programming, and energetic pollution that saturates modern life. When this field is strong, you feel it. There is an unmistakable sense of centeredness. External chaos does not penetrate as deeply. Negative emotions from others do not cling to your energy. Sleep becomes restorative. Dreams carry meaning. Prayer and meditation flow naturally, as if the soul is simply remembering its native language. This is not coincidence. It is the direct result of a well-maintained spiritual shield. But when the field weakens, everything changes. Suddenly, environments feel heavier. Conversations drain you. The emotions of strangers seem to attach themselves to your mood without permission. Thoughts become intrusive and repetitive. What once brought peace now feels empty. This is not weakness of character. It is the soul signaling that its protective boundary has been compromised. Most people never realize this field exists until it begins to fail them. They attribute their exhaustion to stress, their emotional volatility to circumstances, their spiritual dryness to doubt. They do not understand that something far more fundamental has shifted beneath the surface of their awareness. The field weakens for many reasons: prolonged exposure to anger, suppression of authentic emotion, environments saturated with fear, lack of genuine rest. But there is one cause that remains almost completely invisible to modern consciousness: the food we consume. Not because food itself is evil, but because certain substances create vibrational interference so profound that the soul's protection field cannot maintain its integrity. This is where the journey begins, not with blame, not with rigid rules, but with a simple question. What if the spiritual disconnection you feel is not emotional, not psychological, but energetic? What if the answer lies not in more effort, but in greater awareness of what you allow into the sacred vessel of your body? There exists a silent invader in modern life, one so deeply woven into daily routine that its spiritual impact remains completely undetected. It hides in morning rituals, workplace breaks, celebrations, and moments of comfort. It is welcomed, craved, and consumed without a single thought to what it does beyond the physical body. This substance is sugar, and its effect on the soul's protection field is far more devastating than any nutritional concern could ever reveal. Sugar does not merely affect blood levels or energy patterns in the body. It operates on a dimension that most people never consider: the vibrational layer where the soul maintains its protective frequency. When sugar enters the system, it does not arrive quietly. It crashes through the delicate balance of the body's natural rhythm, creating what can only be described as energetic chaos. The soul's protection field requires stability to function. It thrives on consistent, grounded energy that flows in harmonious cycles, like the steady rhythm of breath, the predictable rise and fall of sunlight, the natural pulse of life itself. Sugar disrupts this rhythm entirely. It forces the body into artificial peaks of stimulation, flooding the system with a surge that feels like pleasure, but is actually vibrational violence. In those moments of sugar-induced elevation, the nervous system lights up. The mind feels alert, even euphoric. But this is not true vitality. It is borrowed energy, stolen from future reserves. And when the surge passes, as it always does, the crash is not only physical. The soul's protective field, which had been holding steady, suddenly collapses inward. What was once a strong boundary becomes porous, unstable, unable to filter the lower frequencies that constantly press against human consciousness. This is the invisible wound that sugar creates. It tears microscopic holes in the energetic membrane that shields the soul. Through these openings, external influences seep in. Anxiety without source, irritability without cause, heaviness that cannot be explained. The person feels it, but cannot name it. They search for reasons in their relationships, their work, their circumstances, never realizing that the disruption began at the vibrational level, triggered by something as simple as what they ate. Edgar spoke of this with remarkable clarity. He described how certain foods create what he called toxic vibrations that interfere with the body's spiritual alignment. Sugar was among the most problematic because it generates pleasure without nourishment, satisfaction without substance. It tricks the soul into believing it has received something valuable, when in truth, it has only been destabilized. The mechanism is precise. Sugar spikes create a false sense of elevation, a temporary high that mimics spiritual joy. But true spiritual elevation comes from alignment, from coherence between body, mind, and soul. Sugar-induced highs are fragments, disconnected bursts that leave the soul more fragmented than before. Each spike, followed by a crash, trains the soul to expect instability, to normalize disruption, to forget what true coherence feels like. Over time, repeated sugar consumption does not just weaken the protection field, it rewires the soul's expectations. The soul begins to seek external stimulation instead of internal alignment. It becomes dependent on artificial peaks because it has forgotten how to generate its own steady light. The protection field, once a living shield of consciousness, becomes little more than a tattered veil, unable to fulfill its sacred purpose. This is why people who consume sugar regularly often report spiritual flatness. Prayer feels mechanical. Meditation becomes impossible. Dreams lose their vividness. Intuition goes silent. These are not failures of faith. They are symptoms of energetic disruption. The soul is still there, still trying to connect, but the field that allows it to receive higher frequencies has been compromised. And the most tragic part? Most people never connect these experiences to what they eat. They believe their spiritual dryness is emotional, psychological, or circumstantial. They try harder, pray longer, meditate more intensely, never realizing that the interference is vibrational, and the solution begins with something as simple as what enters their body. Sugar does not strengthen, it does not nourish, it does not protect. It disrupts, destabilizes, and ultimately disconnects the soul from its natural source of power. This is not moralism, it is energetic law. The truth about spiritual protection is not found in perfection, but in awareness. There is no need for guilt, no demand for flawless discipline, no requirement to become someone you are not. The soul does not heal through force. It heals through gentle, consistent recognition of what strengthens it and what weakens it. This is the foundation of true restoration. Many who hear about sugar's impact on the soul immediately fall into the trap of self-punishment. They declare war on their own habits, create rigid rules, and attempt to purify themselves through sheer willpower. This approach always fails because it is rooted in fear, not love. The soul does not respond to control, it responds to compassion. Restoration begins not when you restrict yourself, but when you choose to honor the sacred vessel you inhabit. Edgar never spoke of forbidden foods. He spoke of conscious eating. He taught that the body is a temple, and what enters that temple matters, not because certain substances are evil, but because they either support or interfere with the soul's spiritual work. Sugar interferes. This is not judgment, it is observation. And once you truly observe its effect on your inner world, the choice to reduce it becomes natural, not forced. The first sign of a weakened protection field is fatigue that has no physical cause. You sleep enough, yet wake exhausted. You rest, yet feel drained. This is not laziness. It is the soul signaling that its energy is leaking through compromised boundaries. When sugar destabilizes the field, the soul must work harder to maintain even basic coherence, leaving nothing for vitality, creativity, or joy. The second sign is emotional volatility. Small frustrations become overwhelming. Minor conflicts feel catastrophic. You snap at people you love, then cannot explain why. This happens because the protection field, when weakened, no longer filters external emotional frequencies. You absorb the stress, anger, and anxiety of everyone around you as if it were your own. Sugar accelerates this process by keeping the field in a constant state of flux. The third sign is spiritual disconnection. Prayer feels empty. Meditation becomes a battle with the mind. Dreams lose their clarity or disappear entirely. Intuition, which once guided you effortlessly, goes silent. These are not punishments. They are the soul's way of showing you that something has disrupted its ability to connect with higher consciousness. And very often, that disruption begins with what you consume. People who are spiritually sensitive feel these effects more intensely. Empaths, intuitives, healers, and those in the process of awakening often suffer greatly from sugar's vibrational impact because their protection field is naturally more open. They are designed to receive subtle information, to sense what others cannot. But this gift becomes a burden when the field is compromised, because they absorb everything, including disturbances that sugar amplifies within their own system. Restoration does not require perfection. It requires presence. Begin by noticing how you feel 30 minutes after consuming sugar. Not what you think, what you actually feel. Does your energy drop? Does your mood shift? Does a heaviness settle into your chest? These sensations are not coincidence. They are messages from the soul, asking you to pay attention. Small changes create profound shifts. Eating sugar less frequently allows the field time to stabilize. Choosing natural sweetness over refined substances reduces vibrational interference. Setting an intention before meals, honoring the body as sacred, transforms eating from unconscious habit into spiritual practice. These are not rules, they are acts of self-respect. As the protection field strengthens, everything changes. Clarity returns to the mind. Emotions stabilize without effort. Sleep becomes deeply restorative. Dreams return with vivid detail and spiritual meaning. Prayer and meditation flow naturally again, as if a door that had been closed suddenly opens. This is not imagination, it is the soul reclaiming its natural state of coherence. Edgar taught that the body, mind, and spirit are one. What affects one affects all. When you choose to nourish the body with awareness, you are not simply improving health, you are restoring the soul's ability to fulfill its purpose. You are rebuilding the protection field that allows you to walk through this world without being consumed by its chaos. The path forward is not about restriction. It is about remembrance. Remembering that you are more than flesh. Remembering that what you consume carries vibration. Remembering that the soul has needs, and one of those needs is protection. When you honor this truth, sugar loses its power. Not because you fear it, but because you love yourself more.